Alright, so y'all, it's LakerFan here, as we're about to tell us today's video, here to rank all the finishing badges in NBA 2K23 for Season 4. Now, in Season 4, there has been a pretty massive update. Two of them, actually. One pertaining to back plucks, which would be more for the defensive video as well, and maybe even the playmaking video too, for that matter. But on top of that, what relates to finishing in today's video is going to be a close shot, or interior defense buff, I should say, where interior defense on standing layup / close shots has been extremely buffed. And I've seen it firsthand over the last couple of weeks. Been watching a lot of Pro-Am streams, been actually playing some of the best players in the world too, if you want to check out any of the videos. Ramo, most specifically, who was absolutely a close shot mashing, post hooking, absolute fiend, and just magician with it as well. He's really good with it. But now that stuff is patched between hooks getting contested easier, not to mention the close shot mashing just missing easier and being contested easier. Now he actually utilized things like post spin technicians pretty well, or even posterizer or rise up as well. So I want to talk in today's video how dunking is really more important anymore moving forward, and close shot mashing really is going to see a lot of nerf, and some of these badges are going to be moving down between masher, fast twitch, all types of stuff like that. Things like post spin and maybe even rise up are going to be moving up in today's video. So as you can see, the text color is going to indicate the Season 3 ranking. For instance, I had Bully rated in the E tier, and we are going to be keeping that in the E tier for today's video. So we're going to get straight into this. I hope you guys enjoy. If you do, for to drop a like, sub if you're new to noties, all good stuff. Like always, try to win 2,000 likes. So to start us off with Bully, I'm gonna be honest, this is the badge I have seen activate the absolute least, whether I use it or go against it all year. I have not seen, and to be fair, I don't utilize it too much myself because I don't even think it's my style when it comes to slashing in the first place. But I have not seen more than one time, I'm talking one time out of 2,000 plus games I've played on this game, between Pro-Am, Rec, Park, Stage, 1v1 gameplay, theater, all types of stuff. I have one time seen Bully activate, and it was against me. And that is it. Other than that, literally an extinct badge, and the fact that it's a tier 3 just piles on to the fact that it's the most overrated, most unreasonable badge to really ever run, not to mention the fact that you have to up your strength extremely high to even get it. So to make a slasher type build, you're sacrificing your speed and your vertical like crazy, which is really going to impact your rebounding, your just offense in general, your pick and roll ability, if that pertains to maybe your slasher style. Maybe it doesn't, but either way, you're still going to be losing speed significantly to even get the strength that you need to have Bully. So the high strength builds is just tough, man. It's a tough look for Bully. But anyway, this is staying in the E tier. We're not going to talk too much on badges that actually stay in the area that I'm going to be keeping them in, but as far as one that actually is going to be going up, we got Aerial Wizard. I'm going to be moving Aerial Wizard from the D tier to the C tier. Now, I never really thought that I'd be putting this badge so high, but honestly, from the open meter size of just an open alley-oop, how much it really helps you make those, not to mention the amount of contact lobs I've been getting when I run this as well, compared to when I don't run it, Aerial Wizard is actually pretty fire. Not to mention, they actually, in one of these recent patches, made it so putback dunks work. I believe that might have actually even been a month ago at this point, but either way, they made it so putback dunks work, so Aerial Wizard can actually be used now, and that paired with the fact that it helps you make alley-oops on opens and contested on contact dunks too, and get you into more contact dunks, and even helps you make the meter size bigger on contact dunks too, it's all considered to be actually a little bit of a decent badge, to be honest with you. Anyway, moving along, we have a couple C tier badges staying in the C tier. This is going to be dropstepper, dream shake, and backdown punisher. These all, in my opinion, like I said, are more like kind of pertain to, I'm going to explain what I don't like about them first and foremost. So with dropstepper, now you're going to be forcing yourself to be directly under the basket, and those are bad situations in my opinion. I like keeping your dribble alive while you're below the basket, make them think, or for that matter, yes, I understand drop steps can get you into good position as well, which then leads to maybe you being open for the dunk or open for the standing lay instead of a mash, which can actually be pretty useful for that matter. But what I don't like about it is picking your dribble up and actually being forced to go up with something like that, especially for 1v1. I don't think this is really something you should be counting on too much. What I love about post spin technician is it keeps your dribble alive, and you never have to commit to the mash or commit to anything for that matter. This is something that will create you opportunities at free dunks for that matter too, because post spin technician can really break people if they don't have that post move lockdown. It gets gruesome out there. I seen it with Tonic, who was on a 7-footer, and we switched him on to Ramo one possession, boom, just absolutely shredded by him. And then for me, I had silver post move lockdown on because I have like 76 strength, and I was able to actually run it. I saw him doing it in the series before, so I was like, I'll just throw it on and we'll see how it goes. And it was pretty decent, to be honest, as far as defending the post spins, the drop steps, all types of stuff like that Ramo was doing. But again, I don't like the idea of dropstepper, of the idea of really picking your dribble up and then you're in panic mode, whether it's rec center, and when people see you do that drop step off ball, they're either coming down to help or playing passing lanes, one of the two things. It's showing clear as day that you are committed to either dunking that thing, going up with the layup, or passing the ball. Whereas post spin technician, again, keeps you unpredictable. Dream shake, even for that matter. The shimmy, like kind of just, you don't even have to do the shimmy fades, anything like that. You can just kind of fake a move where you just flick your right stick like right or left, something like that, and then boom, it'll still boost you up with dream shake as far as helping you make post fades, post hooks off of it, and it keeps you unpredictable. I think things like dream shake and post spin tech are a little bit more important than, say, drop stepper or back down punisher, to be honest. The word for back down punisher is just kind of mid, to be honest with you. I mean, at the end of the day, where is it getting you? You're going to put people directly below the basket, but as long as they get a good hands up jump on you, you're going to really rely upon other badges way more. Between rise up or masher, hopefully will help you make a 10% contest anymore. I mean, these things are missing, bro. They are missing. So that's why you're going to see a lot of these badges go down. And, you know, I love seeing it because I'm an undersized big at heart at the end of the day. I hate the tall bigs, but I do feel for you guys. I really don't like the fact that 2K put this patch in because it really deteriorates the tall builds. I mean, they just feel so underpowered now, and I really feel like you can be confidently comfortable with defending with a 6'9" build and maybe with like 76 interior defense against someone that has 96 close shot and they literally just can't mash you anymore. It honestly is a bad thing for the game, but I'm here to just kind of narrate over it and, you know, give my 2 cents on it and just explain to you guys the truth of it. And, you know, it's a bad update. It just is what it is. Alright, so moving along, we're going to take all the former B tier badges and distribute them where they are now according. So, we're going to start from the bottom and go to the top. We have Fast Twitch, Masher, and Pro Touch all moving down from B tier to C tier. Now, let me give my take on this and why. Post hooks have still been touched in this update. They are hard to hit, they are harder to make because they just can get contested easier. It's tough. Anything to do with your close shot rating, it really just actually got nerfed quite a bit. So, Pro Touch, by nature, is going to be going down in tiers just off the fact that post hooking is harder to do and is easier to contest, to be honest with you. And then Masher as well, once again, just being tall against small builds, it really doesn't do a whole lot of good anymore. I'm gonna be real with you. You're gonna need Masher though to be able to consistently do stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, if you're on a 7'3" build and you're going at those 6'9s, you need this thing bad. But that concept itself has still been nerfed so heavily to the point where it's moving things like this into the C tier, if you ask me. Same with Fast Twitch. At the end of the day, Fast Twitch does still help with the standing dunking though, so I will say just because it's at the bottom of C tier visually does not mean that I see it as the worst C tier badge. This is probably the best C tier badge in the whole category, to be honest. It debatably could be in the B tier, but I don't think it's as good as Post Spin Technician or Acrobat. We'll talk about that in a second. But as far as Fast Twitch goes, obviously it still helps you kind of resist blocks as well, and really can resist people from getting into good defensive position, because the sooner you can go up with the layup or the sooner you can go up with the dunk, the better. And it is still a pretty decent badge. So like I said, you could kind of see this as a C tier, B tier fringe. If it makes you feel any better, I guess I'll temporarily put it in the B tier for now, as far as just visually showing it to you guys. But again, it's just to show that it's probably like worse than Post Spin Tech and Acrobat, but better than all of these badges listed right here between Pro Touch, Masher, Backdown Punisher, Dream Shake, Aerial Wizard, and Drop Stepper. I would absolutely put it over all 6 of these badges 100%, but not as good as these 2 right here. I mean, Post Spin Technician is a threat that you have to stay on the lookout for. Now, maybe I'm overreacting to this a little bit because I've seen Ramo using it, and he is probably one of the best post scoring centers in the game. And it's a very niche style, but I think I really hate on a lot of the post scores in these tier list videos typically because of the niche style. But what I need to realize is the power of the badge is more important to describe rather than to just be biased against its play style and to sit here and say, nobody does it, so it's just going to be a bad badge because nobody else uses it. It's not exactly the best logic to play by, so instead, like I said, I'm going to actually just be ranking them based on the power of the badge. So, Post Spin Technician, something you got to stay on the lookout for. If people are working this thing, you have to be way away from their body, and then subsequently off of that, it actually does make post hooking a little bit easier to do, because if people have to back up off of you, that's just going to be how it is. Like, you're going to get open hook opportunities. But I will say, what I was doing against Ramo was I was just playing back, trying not to get bodied up on him so I could actually just make sure I don't get post spin broken or anything like that. And then if I saw a hook opportunity, I'll just jump at it. It was like the first shot I saw all game and was able to contest it really good, like 18-19%. And with this update on the contest, I tell you what, that is a high percent contest that is going to make people miss pretty consistently. So, moving along, we have Acrobat as well. This is a badge that truly is kind of broken, to be honest with you. The mechanic itself is broken though. The switch up layups are ridiculously crazy. I mean, you don't get contested on them too often, and it really bails you out of bad takes pretty often. Not to mention, if you do that in like Rec Center or Pro-Am, it'll probably lead to fouls pretty often too. So that's to talk about the acrobatic layup mechanic itself. But Acrobat, the badge itself, is just going to help you make those shots even more. So pair that with like Giant Slayer, Fearless Finisher, as well as a small guard. oh man, it's like broken when these guys go into the basket. And then they can even still draw fouls at a super ridiculous rate too, even if they go and get a horrible contest on it. Like I'm talking, they just run straight into a 7-foot center with Hoff anchor 99 into your D, and then they just would inevitably get 100% smothered contest on it, but they get a foul instead. I mean, it's a really toxic style to go at those, for those small guards to go at the bigs in the paint, but it is what it is, man. Then moving along, we have Rise Up. Now, this badge did not get better or anything like that after the patches. It's not that I think this is a better badge than a B tier or anything like that, but the importance of it, my God, is the importance of it so much more important than it ever has been for these tall bigs. If you're a tall big that has 90 plus standing dunk or even 80 plus standing dunk, you have to run this badge now moving forward. I mean, it's gonna hurt a lot if you aren't getting pulled into a lot of contact standing dunks and you're just left with a bunch of close shots that end up with like a 20% like contest, and you're just gonna miss them pretty consistently. It's just the truth. So if you have a high dunking build as far as a standing dunk goes, I 100% highly encourage you to run Rise Up. I even encourage this for if you don't have standing contact dunks. Even if you're just standing dunk pretty consistently and maybe you're like a 6'8", 6'7", something like that below, where it's a lower tier badge than 6'9", getting it in tier 3 or anything taller than a 6'9" as well. But this is a really important badge to run now, just off the fact of the patch. It's not like it got way better or anything like that. It is still really good though. I mean, I had this thought of as a pretty good badge even before the patch, but it's just good at getting you pulled into standing contact dunks. And then moving forward, between the A tier badges and the S tier badges, I don't have anything moving. Posterizer, Giant Slayer, and Fearless are going to stay in the A, and then Slithery and Limitless Takeoff will be in the S. So let's talk about the difference real quick between Posterizer and Slithery, because I heard my guard asking about it, AK. I heard him asking what the difference is between Slithery and Posterizer. Same with Zeke. They're both very curious on that. So I wanted to explain this. In my opinion, Posterizer is going to be good. Like let's say you're not someone who just spams contact dunk meters, right? Like me, Posterizer is a really important badge because of the dunk metering, and it's just going to pull you into those dunks very consistently, and you are going to be able to make them at a higher rate as well. I want to talk about the small guards though. Let's say someone who's maybe like 86 dunk, you have the gold limits takeoff, and you just made it strictly for that. You don't really even use your dunk meter like that. Posterizer is going to be really good for not getting anchor dunked, where you just go for the dunk and the dude, like, just his phantom force just knocks the ball out because it's intimidating factor, right? Posterizer can be good for that, in my opinion, on top of the fact that it gets you more contact dunks as well. But Slithery, in my opinion, just gets you more dunks in general. This will just be your dunk getter badge. It's literally just if you hold X, you're going to like glide past people a little bit easier. You're going to get pushed into dunk animations instead of getting kicked out of them more. Think of Slithery as the not getting kicked out of badge, and think of Posterizer as the making contested badge. So my reasoning for Slithery being higher in the tier list at the S than Posterizer in the A. Posterizer, in my opinion, like I said, is just maybe more for contested dunking factor, and Slithery gets you more dunks that are not contested. I'll just put it like that. So Slithery, better than Poster in my opinion. Poster is probably the best A tier badge here though. It's definitely up there with Takeoff and Slithery. It's not really that much better than any of these. Maybe Rise Up. I would say Rise Up is probably the worst A tier badge of all of them. As far as Giant Slayer goes, it's hard to really rate this badge strictly off of just it itself. It's generally paired with things like Fearless Finisher and maybe some Acrobat as well, but Giant Slayer, for the small guards, we already talked about it when I was talking about the Acrobat, the small guards that go in with contested dunk opportunities and then end up getting put in a layup animation, they get kicked out of the dunk. They either get fouled, they either get a super low contest, or maybe like 10% of the time they just miss it in general. But Giant Slayer paired with Fearless Finisher, paired with Acrobat, paired with being small, like 6'1" in general, is so broken, it's not even funny. I mean, it's honestly one of the least skilled things I've seen, and that's coming from a pure slasher. But truth be it, I use my dunk meter pretty often, and I actually use some timing on it, and it's hard to really get those unless you do use the dunk meter. You can't just be a 99 dunk build with 0 3-pointer and expect that you're just going to go straight in at 7-foot centers and things are going to work. But what you can do is be a small guard and do that sometimes. Now, the thing about them is they are such a 3-point threat generally, like between the 6'1s and maybe like 6'3s and stuff like that too. They're such a 3-point threat that they demand so much attention on the perimeter, so it leads to them getting a little bit of an easier take with maybe bigs coming from behind them or rotating down from the corner or wherever the case may be, of a big getting on a guard in that paint action essentially. But when Giant Slayer, Fearless, and Acrobat all combine, or even just forget about Acrobat, Giant Slayer and Fearless combine on the small guards against the bigs, you see significantly lower contests than you should. It's really about as simple as that. Now, to kind of throw that away of the whole just the small guards thing, that actually is the case for Fearless Finisher 2 for any build. I mean, this could be a 7-footer, it could be a 7-3. They get Fearless Finisher off their close shot too. So just because you have lower driving layup than like 80 or something like that, it doesn't matter that much. I mean, you're still going to be able to have Fearless Finisher off your close shot, and that goes a long way. Gold Fearless, I think, is 84 close shot, and you can definitely get that on most mashing bigs, and you do see a lot of bad layup attempts just go in. Now, it's harder to justify that for the taller builds now because obviously it hurts your like close shot just in general to do that as a scheme. It's just a nerfed playstyle, to be honest with you. But Fearless Finisher does activate on standing layups. If you pair Fearless with Masher, with Fast Twitch, with being just tall in general, you still have an okay chance, I guess, at making those close shot matches. But man, oh man, I'm telling you guys from my own perspective of someone that uses a 6'9", that close shot mashing stuff is done for. I really hope they even revert this patch, to be honest with you. It's not good for the game. It's really tough, bro, because all you see anyway in the park is 6'9" builds. Whether it's like as a point guard, as a big man, as a lockdown, whatever the case may be. Maybe you see 6'7" lockdowns and 6'8" lockdowns, but now they nerfed the plucking too. So really, there's no reason to be anything but 6'9" in this game, to be honest with you, unless you are a small guard. So really, to me, it's like 6'1", 6'9". That's about it, honestly, and that's what you're going to see on our Pro-Am team. We're going to have 2 6'9s, 2 6'1s, and then a 7-footer in Tonic. And maybe if Tonic's missing too, we might even just run 3 6'9s. I mean, it's pretty crazy, man. The badge tiering is so broken on them, and to just see that compounded by the gameplay too, and just the badges, it's kind of crazy to see. But anyway, moving along to our S tier, we have Limitless Takeoff and Slithery. Obviously, for multiple reasons on Limitless Takeoff, between whether you're a Hall of Fame Limitless Takeoff dude that just goes crazy with the dunks from super long distance, or down to the gold level that I usually run as well, where you can still utilize this at a really elite level when it comes to the dunk metering, just the X button dunking in general too, and even down to the silver level, where you obviously run the quick drops off 1, the Limitless Takeoff on silver, and 80 dunk, and you're able to get the 60 vertical that's required with it as well, because it forces you up to that. I mean, the 80 dunk, 60 vert, silver Limitless Takeoff is literally just the sweet spot for pretty much everybody to make for their builds, from 7'2" centers, or 7'3" centers even for that matter, to 6'1" guards. So Limitless Takeoff at multiple different levels has extreme value whether it's dunk metering, whether it's quick dropping, whether it's just any dunks in general of your X button dunks, and even like things like Michael Jordan dunk or Westbrook, LeBron, Uber Athletics off 1, stuff like that. They're all going to get activated even better with Limitless Takeoff. Now, I've seen a lot of people ask about how to core badge this. Me personally, I just use the dunk meter. I mean, it's about as simple as that. Now, I'm not sure whether like silver works like that. You need to get dunk packages that maybe activate Limitless Takeoff better as well, which would be things like maybe as a small guard if you're curious and looking out there, because I know this game very well enough. I know there's tons of you out there playing with a small guard, 16 finishing badges, just enough to get silver Limitless Takeoff, and you're looking to core it because you get only like bronze posterizer or bronze slithery. I know I just read you like a book, and you can put in the comments if that's you. But anyway, if you're looking to core it, throw in Anthony Edwards or Ja Morant, something like that. Maybe Clyde Drexler as well. Try and use the dunk meter a little bit more. Maybe flick up on your dunk stick as well for the flashy dunks. Those are the type of things that can activate Limitless Takeoff a whole lot more. So if you're looking to core it, that's your guide to it. And moving along into the Slithery, we've already talked about this plenty enough at this point, comparing it to Posterizer as well, but just to kind of jot the notes down one last time on this, it's going to be the thing that glides you into dunks more. Think of it as just your dunker badge. Like, this is just something that's going to get you dunks more, or kind of just glide you through bad takes, essentially. It's like your bailout badge, essentially, as a finisher. Simply put as that. If you run Posterizer and Limitless Takeoff, no Slithery, you're gonna get stiff dunk animations. You're gonna really have to use that dunk meter a lot. If you run Limitless Takeoff, no Slithery, you will still get the dunk meter a lot, but you may get kicked out of them more. Or maybe you struggle to make the contested ones more. Or maybe you go in for those quick drops off 1, but a center drops off the corner and boom, and anchor. And it's not that it kicks you out of the dunk, it makes you miss the dunk if you don't run Posterizer. So just keep that in mind. That's pretty much my best way of explaining the whole Limitless Takeoff plus Posterizer plus Slithery combo, essentially. So anyway, that's all for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new to noties, all good stuff. And like always, try to win 2,000 likes. If you made it to the end of the video, put slash or put finish in the comments, so support me all the way through. And again, I really do apologize to those out there that were affected by this patch in a really negative way. I encourage you to try and learn the game a little bit though too. I know it really does suck to make new builds. I don't like advocating for making new builds either, because this game has gone very overboard with the whole money grab stuff as well, if we're being completely honest, to be real with you guys. And it does suck to see so many people's builds just absolutely get nerfed after every patch, from the pluck stealing defenders to the paint mashing bigs. And there's probably way more out there as well. I know we've talked a lot about the updates this year, and while it may be good for the gameplay in some situations, I don't know, man. I feel like close shot mashing wasn't so broken already like that in the first place. I know some people are going to disagree, but honestly, coming from someone who has tested the game quite extensively on defensive builds, I have builds that have 27 block rating now to my day one builds, like my day one Simmons build has 81 block rating and like 76 interior defense, and then my current Ben Simmons build that I kind of upgraded more into the defensive souped up version has gold anchor, 93 block, and 84 interior defense. I'm here to tell you right now that paint mash stuff was not it already before patch on that 6'9 build with the 93 block and the gold anchor. That was already shutting stuff down. Now it looks extinct, bro. It's horrible takes down there when people go up and stuff like that. So I don't know, man. It is what it is, but I'm still enjoying the game. I'm still liking the game. Luckily, my playstyle hasn't been severely nerfed where the dunk metering is horrible. I will say you definitely get kicked out of a couple more dunks than usual now, but it's nothing super extensive. But anyway, like I said, that's all for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, drop a like, sub, new to noties, all good stuff. Other than that, take it easy, man. Peace.